Hey there, friends. So it's Friday again. So for this week's video, I just want to go over last week's giveaway, the winner, what she said she's going to do with the money, and also confirmation that she got the funds into her account. And if you guys want to send her more money, feel free. That would be great. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and talk about I showed you guys my physical library not too long ago. I'm going to go ahead and also show you my Audible library. I've got quite a few books on there. So let's go ahead and jump straight into it. I'm gonna show you guys. This is the email that I received from Miss Tammy, and she said, "Hi, it's me. I'm so jazzed. I won. I posted a comment back about my PayPal and Cash App. My PayPal link is this." And then I went ahead and sent her. So she said that she's gonna be buying parts to fix her car with this gift. So pretty cool stuff there. I'm glad that it went to somebody that needed it. And she also said that she's been wanting to learn about the emerald tablets, which is another thing that I talked about in last week's video. And that's also what I've been studying quite a bit, other than just, well, really, it's been the emerald tablets and then Billy Carson. And then, other than my Audible library, I haven't listened to my Audible library in a while. But yeah, I'm gonna show you guys the confirmation. Here it is. She received the $200. I put on there it was for YouTube giveaway. It was on March 1st at 11:46 p.m. And you guys know she's gonna be using it to fix her car, which I think is funny because my wife's car broke down and everything, and I'm actually just as we speak, I'm having it towed to Pep Boys so they can fix it. And it was her birthday as well. It was Miss Tammy's birthday on February 29th. So it was quite good that the dice roll worked out. Okay, so here's the Cash App. This is Memories of the Afterlife. This is the book that I was telling you guys about that I found out after doing the 5 questions tape because I didn't really know. I hadn't even opened that door to the possibility that I knew that we are more than our physical bodies, but I didn't open the door to the possibility that not only are we more than our physical bodies, but there's also maybe we were in a previous life before this one, right? So that's how much more we potentially are. How many lives have we been through? This is a great book by Michael Newton. Yeah. And I think it's actually, I'm pretty sure Dolores Cannon. No, I'm thinking about a different book by Dolores Cannon. Between Death and Life, Conversations with the Spirit. This one was also really good. I think this one was even better than The Memories of the Afterlife, but they're both really, really good. And this one was kind of okay, A Hypnotist's Journey to Atlantis, but it all ties back for whatever reason. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth, Thoth the Atlantean, it seems like a lot of this stuff, esoterica, and a lot of the wisdom that's been passed down comes back to Atlantis. Terence McKenna, another great thinker. This one I didn't even finish, Psychics, Healers, and Mediums. It was a little weird. You can see here I only have 3 hours and 15 minutes left. This is not my first time listening to Between Death and Life. I did finish that one all the way. But yeah, another good book. Hermeticism Collection, of course, As Above, So Below, the Kybalion. This is the Three Initiates in Hermes Trismegistus, also known as Thoth. And then, once again, Hermes, Kybalion. This one's really good. Mere Christianity. It talks about the origins of Christianity, which, if you look at it, really it's all from Thoth, right? So Thoth is the one Jesus went between the ages of 12 and 32. He went to Egypt to study the ancient Egyptian mysteries in the mystery school there. And then he came back in the Bible when he was 32, and then he was crucified when he was 33. And he really just copied a lot of the stuff and he reiterated it, which is great. I'm doing the same thing. Basically, all the stuff that I'm sharing with you guys, some of it I found out on my own, but a lot of it was just through a lot of reading and learning and focusing on, philosophy. Another great author, Joe Dispenza. I finished this whole book. I guess I was re-listening to it. I've listened to these quite a bit, a bunch of different times. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. He kind of just helps you into the whole idea of going out of your body. And he helped me in my relationships with other people. So like he talks about in that book, just being aware of when you're interacting with somebody else, that you can always interact differently from how you've interacted before. So I think that was really powerful. Ultimate Journey, Robert Burnow, that's the Gateway Experience. And a lot of you guys found my channel through the Gateway Experience. So that one's really good. He talks about, um, this is not the first or the second book, I believe. Might be the third book. And he goes into really deep stuff. I mean, Journeys Out of the Body is the first, I think. Far Journeys is the second. And then Ultimate Journey is what it is, Ultimate Journey. It's pretty, he goes like into the way the world was created, how it, there's like this catcher on the moon that catches souls when people die. So that, I mean, you got to get into it. It's a lot of stuff. You can be recycled back into the, but you can break free of that if you do the right thing and all this other stuff, right? So, Ultimate Jim Rohn Library, he's a farm boy out of Idaho, I think. I'm not sure. I haven't listened to it in a while. But he's got some really good stuff, and definitely recommend that one. What I like a lot about this one that I apply to this day is you got to walk around the block. How you do anything is how you do everything. So when you walk around the block, what does that mean? That means that you have you're making an investment into improving your health, right? So you're walking, keeping yourself active, staying positive, and then eating an apple a day. An apple a day keeps the doctor away, right? So you can stay healthy and do that. That's something I apply every single day, and I haven't been sick since then. It's been a couple months, and I usually got sick around winter, but I haven't been sick. So I think that definitely works for one reason or another. Paulo Coelho, on my yearbook, the quote that I have on my yearbook picture senior year is, wherever your heart is, there you will find your treasure. That is from The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. So, of course, I had to listen to some of his other books. He's somebody that I'll go a little bit into his story. It's really interesting. He was a musician out of Brazil. And for him, his whole life, his parents were, I think, an engineer and a lawyer. So they were like, hey, dude, you're going to be a lawyer. And he was like, no, I'm not. They put him in a mental institution. They thought he was going crazy or something. And whenever he got out of the mental institution, he's like, okay, look, guys, I want to be a writer. Like, can you please stop trying to force me to be something that I'm not, that I don't want to be? And eventually he became a writer for music. And when he went on that journey, he was, I think he met people. And it was during a revolution in Brazil. And he met some people that were like in the Beatles and some of this other stuff. Long story short, he himself says that he sold his soul to the devil. That's something that he says, right? And he was able to gain it back because he was having an out of body experience, where he saw his quote unquote his master, and he saw him again. Well, when he saw him the first time, he saw him in Auschwitz, I believe, near a concentration camp over there, and he saw his master. And then he walked into a coffee shop in his physical body, and he saw the same guy that he had seen when he was out of body. And so when he saw this guy, he was like, dude, you're the one that I saw in my out of body experience. And so he's like, hey, teach me what you know. And so he taught him. Now his path, he went through the pilgrimage through the Catholic Church. Okay, the Catholic Church is not perfect. It's definitely not even, I wouldn't even say it's good. Okay, some people believe in it, and some people can use like the rosary and those kinds of readings to achieve certain out of body states. And also the Catholic Church does have certain saints that experienced out of body experiences. And so the history of all this is very well documented. And the rabbit hole goes back really far. I'm not telling you that you should be Catholic. I'm not telling you should be Christian. I don't believe in any of that stuff because I know where it comes from. I know that the teachings, the ones that work, not only does it have a lot of contradictions, but the ones that are actually good, that actually help people, all come from Thoth, the Atlantean, right? So this is my Audible library. If you can see here, obviously there's some kind of trend. I never even listened to You Can't Teach a Kid to Ride a Bike at a Seminar. It was never really caught my attention for one reason or another. This one's okay. it doesn't really stand out in my mind either, fanatical prospecting. But basically, one of the things that you need to keep in mind with this is you got to be consistent when it comes to marketing. You got to be consistent. You got to reach out to people. You call somebody one day, they're not in a good mood. You call them the next day, they might be in the best mood. I think a quote from this is that when you knock on somebody's door, you try, and you could even try to sell him a chariot for a penny, and he'll say no. But then the next day he'll come back and he'll try to give you all his money just for a drink of water, right? So people go back and forth through their moods, and it just depends on what they're going through. So you got to be the one that's consistent. Earl Nightingale, I've got here, Lead the Field. This is a phenomenal book. Earl Nightingale is a great author, and it's just very inspiring. So obviously I'm here on a theme of kind of nurturing your own self-development. Another Earl Nightingale one, The Essence of Success, another great book. This one's another. These are really good for like fuel for the mind. That's the best way I can explain it. I'm not going to try to ruin them by telling you some kind of synopsis of them. I think it's something you have to check out for yourself. This one I didn't finish. Doesn't really stand out to me. Four Agreements. Didn't even start this one. The Monk Who Sold Us a Ferrari. Iliad and Odyssey. I've got these books, the physical copies. But these are another great series. And definitely recommend. I read the Odyssey when I was in high school, and I'm just now getting into the Iliad, and it's phenomenal. It talks about the, have you ever heard of the Trojan War with Helen of Troy and Achilles and those gods, the Greek gods, right? So when you look at it, when you look back, in time, you see that a lot of these gods, like Jesus, it actually means Hail Zeus, Zeus, something I learned from Billy Carson. And so his name wasn't even Jesus, his name was actually Yeshua. And it's pretty mind-blowing when you start looking at our history and how, the ones that built the pyramids were the Anunnaki and all this other stuff. So Psycho-Cybernetics is an interesting book. It talks about kind of like programming yourself and the paradigm shifts that you can go through when you are looking for something. You're going to find it, right? So that's also in the Bible, and really comes from Thoth. And Target Success, let me see, I don't even remember this one. Unlimited Memory. This is by, what is he, Grandmaster Kevin Horsley. So it's kind of funny. He calls himself a Grandmaster. He really is, because he won a bunch of competitions on memory. So being able to remember people's names, the way you can associate it. If you want to remember the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which I have over here somewhere, what it is you want to associate, it's almost like the same thing as the gateway experience. You want to associate a name with a picture, right? So the gateway experience is using your left brain and your right brain. That's how you want to have unlimited memories. You have to connect the two, and so you get the DMT production of the pineal gland there. And then this is something that my wife got. I've never read this book. This one I never read. Real Estate Rocket Fuel. There's 2 kinds of people. There's an integrator and a visionary. Same kind of thing. Integrator would be left brain, visionary would be right brain. Very rarely do you find people that are both. Well, you can be both, because if you know the gateway experience, it literally teaches you how to do both. So there you go. That's what Rocket Fuel says, basically. It's literally that. It says, hey, if you want to run a business, you want to have a consistent, that is the rocket fuel. You want to have somebody that's the visionary and somebody that's the integrator. So the visionary is telling the integrator what to do, and the integrator is going out and doing it. But you can just do that yourself. How do you become both? Well, you have to align your left and right hemispheres. Basically it. Power of consistency. This is somebody who was on drugs, Weldon Long. He would always look at people that had like a white picket fence, a guy that had a wife and a truck and a dog and a nice family, and he would also always be like, hey, that guy, he probably had to do something wrong to get that, because there's no such thing as right in the world. Well, he found out that actually it was probably because he was doing too many drugs. So eventually he realized, hey, I just have to be consistent. I have to show up every day, and just power of consistency, just be consistent. Prosperity mindset, he turned his life around. So pretty cool book. Homeless to Billionaire. I don't even remember reading that. Pleasure Trap, that's called YouTube right here, the Pleasure Trap. I mean, come on, like so many people just trying to sell you stuff that's not actually gonna help you in your life. You're eating too much candy. You gotta, eat your vegetables. Um, Let me see. I don't even remember. Oh, this one actually, I do. Tom DeLonge. I went deep into this when I was researching the UFO phenomenon, and this one's really amazing. It's a fictional book, right? It's a fictional story, but the characters are based on real characters, and technically, I mean, all in all, it's happening today, right? So you got black budget projects, you got aliens, you got UFOs, you got all these things that are happening. I mean, right now, and it's being exposed. Dr. Stephen Greer, definitely check him out. Unshakable. This is basically about investing. When's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. Okay, so if you wanna invest, you gotta invest. I told you guys before, you gotta have 10% of your income. Always keep it, set it aside. Don't even look at how much it's building up. I mean, you can look at it every once in a while, but don't look at it. Basically just let it build up, and eventually it will overflow. And that's basically that. You don't even have to necessarily read this one. He's saying the same thing, but he's telling you different ways that you can invest in, like Roth IRAs and all this. Now he's talking about investing into sports and sport teams and all this other stuff. I don't believe in that because I don't believe in the modern day Coliseum, me personally. But that's just me. Holy Bible there you got, and then let me see what else I got. Secrets. I mean, this is an extensive library. If you guys want to know, this is what I study, right? So I'm not over here like just making a YouTube channel and just coming up with stuff that is just off the top of my head. I mean, I'm researching constantly, listening to books, because what I do for a living, I literally deliver groceries to people. So I'm driving in the car a lot. And when I'm not doing that, I'm just helping people with electrical problems. When I'm not doing that, I'm doing other handyman stuff, like hauling stuff with U-Haul trucks. Okay, I have a tiny Hyundai Accent car. My wife has a Hyundai Santa Fe, the one that's being fixed right now. So, it is what it is. I'm just doing what I can with what I've got. I'm just switching my mindset from taking and using to giving. Why? Because I've listened to the Gateway Experience. I've applied it in my life. And that's really the highest level of consciousness, is understanding that we are more than our physical bodies. But not only are we more than our physical bodies, we're here for a reason. We're here for a purpose. And that purpose for me is to leave this place better than I found it. Right? So, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. This is interesting because it talks about, for every giver, there has to be a taker. So even though I just said that, right? You have to keep in mind that for somebody to be able to give, there has to be somebody that's going to take. You have to be willing to receive. Like, if it wasn't for Miss Tammy, we would have been found in a situation just like with William, and which was Vampirith, and then the other guy, which was Mind Over Matter CB. They were not willing to receive the money that I was trying to give them. Which also reminds me, you guys may not know, but I'm going to be doing another giveaway. And because what I talked about before, it might have seemed like, hey, I was going to give away $100 twice. Right now we're at like 312 subscribers or something like that. And since we're at that number of subscribers, I'm going to be doing a $300 giveaway soon. However, I didn't get to give away the $100 for 100 subscribers. So I'm going to be re-rolling that once. I'm not going to re-roll the $100 twice. The only reason why I had two potential people to give it away to was because Mind Over Matter CB never accepted it. And then I said, hey, I'm just going to give it away to the most recent subscriber, which was Vampirith or William, but he never accepted it either. So I just said, hey, you know what? We're going to reach 200 subscribers soon. I'm just going to do the $200 giveaway. That's what we did last week. Now we're at 300. So I didn't think it was going to happen this fast, to be frank with you. Sorry if you hear the dog barking or if you hear babies crying and stuff in the background. Sorry about that. But anyway, we're going to be giving away just $100 for the 100 subscriber special. So I'll be doing that soon. And then soon we'll also be giving away $300 for the 300 subscriber. Then what I'll probably do is I'll skip 400. I'm not going to give away $400. You guys are going to break my bank. I'm just kidding. But what we'll be doing is we'll probably be doing a $500 subscriber giveaway. Then after that, I'll probably skip until the 1,000 because that's the goal, right? We want to give away $1,000. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe if you guys can convince me, I can give away at like 700 or something like that. It just depends. I don't know. I'll have to see where it goes. because we're also buying a house, right? So I gotta take care of the people I'm taking care of as well. So anyway, The Greatest Mystery in the World by Og Mandino. This is based on the same guy that wrote The Greatest Salesman in the World. This book was okay. It's better. The better one that I found was better was The Greatest Salesman in the World. So you got part two, the end of the story. So part two is not as good as part one. Part one is the best. I would definitely recommend it. And if I can get to it, when I get to it on here on my list, I'll talk about it. I'll tell you guys what it has done for my life and how I'm using some of the strategies that I learned from that book. I'm using them on the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Okay, because that book teaches you the secret of learning, which I'm going to get to soon. But how to build a fortune, your plans for success from the world's most famous businessman. Whether you like Trump or you don't, he knows how to build businesses. Now, the interesting thing about him is he had a bunch of casinos. He went bankrupt. Okay, he got a bunch of money from his dad, so it's not like he built it out from scratch. I think it's much better if you do build it from scratch because you learn the skills that are necessary to really be able to handle any kind of economy, whether it's going up or down. The people that know how to handle it always go up. Okay. Subtle art of not giving a fuck. Don't take yourself too seriously. Zero resistance selling. This is when I used to do door-to-door sales. I don't really listen to that stuff anymore. I find that it's much better to just tell a story. If you want to know about sales, just tell a story. And the stories themselves help people raise their level of awareness. And telling your own story, hey, I dealt with a similar problem that you're dealing with. And the way that I handle it was doing this. You could go this way, or you don't have to if you don't want to. But I'm just trying to give you a solution to the problem. That's basically sales right there. You have to, because why? Why do I feel like stories are so powerful? Why? Because they're a fourth dimensional technology. Okay, a story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. What is that? That's the past, the present, and the future. Okay, that's literally right there. You have it. Now you're talking about fourth dimensional beings like the Anunnaki, right? So you're looking at things from a higher perspective. Napoleon Hill's master key, Think and Grow Rich. That's Napoleon Hill. You got to think. If you think rich thoughts, you will become a rich person. If you think poor thoughts, what do you think is going to happen? So ABCs of closing. I mean, how do you close something? You ask a question. A close-ended question. Open-ended questions open things up. Close-ended questions close things. Okay? Does that make sense? That's a close, right? So that's what sales is. Anyway, literally what I just said. Does that make sense as a close-ended question? Yes or no? That is literally a close right there, what I just said. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Magic of thinking big. You got to think bigger. Monroe Institute's Gateway Experience. Talked about that. 1 year patterning. There was a point in my life when I was doing sales, actually, when I could only think about the next sale, when I could only think about today, when I could only think about this week. I wasn't even thinking bigger than that because I was just trying to survive. That's why I don't do that anymore, because sales can become very survival, right? It can become very like just not fun. I would much rather just tell the real story, the truth, okay? Because it is what it is. And there's no manipulation involved in that at all, right? And I felt like when I was doing door-to-door sales, there was a lot of deadlines, there was a lot of quotas, there was a lot of stuff that you had to meet, and they put you in a pressure position where you're in a pressure position, so now you end up having to pressure other people, and that's just not a fun feeling. I don't want to have that. I have 2 kids. I want to have a garden. I want things to happen naturally and organically, right? You got these people on YouTube that are trying to take shortcuts to success. Well, they're going to reap what they've sown, which is garbage. That's what they're going to reap because that's what they sowed. They sowed garbage. So it is the law. It is what it is. I don't want to sow garbage. I want to sow straight gold. Damn, some of these people on Steam are just wild. Magic of thinking big is basically that. Just think, you got to think bigger. Sowing and reaping. Well, if you find out that this pyramid of Egypt were built 40,000 years ago, the Sphinx was built 36,000 years ago. They can tell because of the weather patterning. They thought that it was built 6,000 years ago. Well, no, it was actually built 30,000 years before that. So this is real science. I mean, look it up. You don't have to believe me. Can you think any bigger than that? If somebody was able to build something that lasted that long, Why would you not? Why reinvent the wheel? You know, the reason why it's lasted that long is because they're doing things the right way. There is nothing new under the sun. It's just as above, as below, so as above. You know, as above, so below. Same thing. Who moved my cheese? This is understanding our physical bodies. You just have to deal with the vessel that we live in. Sometimes we find ourselves becoming accustomed to a certain routine, certain habit, and then, you know, because of that, we, you know, can get upset and say, hey, you know, who moved my cheese? How come the things that I was doing before are not working anymore? Well, because you have to adapt, you have to grow. Things are always moving. You know, the poles of the earth are shifting. They literally shifted. The North Pole is now in like Russia or something like that, you know? You have to understand that the world is always changing, so we have to change with it. You can't just, I mean, our physical bodies, right? But then our spirit is the one that has to stay the same. So there you go. And that's kind of a paradox right there. Untethered Soul, another great book. Talking about out of body experiences in a way, but in a different way. This is all like mental food, is the way I would explain it. So Grant Cardone, I think he definitely lost his way to this day. Another person that's reaping what he's sown. Dude, you gotta stop sowing so much garbage, bro. You can't be telling people, hey, save everything you have one day, and then telling them, hey, no, don't save anything. Give it all to me so I can invest it for you. Like, bro, I don't trust you. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. You don't have any trust, Grant Cardone. I'm sorry, you know, it is what it is. Maybe at one point you did, but you've just done things the wrong. You went down the wrong path, dude. You sacrificed your integrity for a short-term reward. Big mistake. Conversations with God, an uncommon dialogue, book 1. This one is really good. Neil Donald Walsh. I'm not gonna spoil it. If you want to talk to God or hear somebody's story about how they talk to God, check it out. There's a cabin in the woods. That's what that book's about. And it talks about some interesting, kind of heavy stuff, but it can also help people that are dealing with heavy stuff, right? Good to great. This is interesting because I just said you have to adapt. Yes, it's true, you have to adapt, but you have to have a single-minded concept. You have to understand through life that if you want to grow a business, it's not just going to happen. You can't add technology to a business and then expect the technology like YouTube to fix all your problems. That's not going to be it. Some people on YouTube right now are thinking, oh, you know, I'm making cool YouTube videos and that's going to fix all my integrity problems. That's not how it works. You have to be a hedgehog, not a fox. That's the main concept of the book. Hedgehogs do the same thing over and over and over and over again. That's how you can build a great company. Yes, you have to adapt. You have to incorporate certain technologies, but only if you have the foundation. Some people are not like that. Some people are like foxes. They're always trying to be sly and slick and always go quicker and always, it doesn't work. The hedgehog always wins. Never give up. Same kind of concept. Sapiens. So this is a brief story of humanity. This is in French. I don't think I ever listened to it, but I do speak a little bit of French because I took it in high school. And it was an IB program. I told you guys about that. Yeah, I know some of you guys haven't watched every single one of my videos, so I'm going to start kind of repeating things here and there. I'm not going to keep repeating everything over and over again. Part of the reason why I made those videos because I don't want to keep having to repeat myself. But yeah, Energy Bus, another great book. This book right here, it talks about positivity, positive energy. It's basically a scientific approach to the Jedi. Okay, so light side and dark side. It starts out with somebody, the main character of the book. He's having these negative things happen to him, a flat tire, you know, all this stuff, car breaks down. Then he has to take the bus. When he's complaining, he's like, dude, why did my car break down? Man, this sucks. What the heck? Well, it ended up being that it was a good thing that his car broke down, that he got a flat tire because there was a recall on the car. And if he hadn't broke it down, he could have crashed the car and completely died, right? So much better to have the car break down than to be driving the car and then the car not work while you're driving it, right? So he got an opportunity to meet the driver of the bus. The driver of the bus, his name was Joy, I believe, whose father has cancer, and she's dealing with the things that she's dealing with, but she's showing up and she's got her energy bus, and the people on her bus know about positive energy and they apply positive energy. They don't yell at their kids. They don't do all these negative things that are just bringing more negativity into their life. They know how to solve problems. They know how to focus on the solution. That's basically the energy bus. Magician of the Gods, Graham Hancock. If you don't know who he is, you need to know who he is. He's the one that basically pointed the finger and said, "Hey, look, guys, let's look at the real science of our history as human beings. We've got Gobekli Tepe, we've got the weathering patterns on the Sphinx, and let's be honest about, hey, what's really going on. We didn't come from monkeys, guys. Like the truth is that we were genetically engineered. There you go. Food of the gods, magic mushrooms. He's got his whole theories. Terrence McKenna, rest in peace, or as Billy Carson says, rest in power, right? He's got his theories about how we were developed, from, he thinks we came from monkeys for one reason or another, and that we were eating magic mushrooms, and that's how we were able to expand our brains. But that's not what the evidence shows. That's literally just his idea, because maybe he did too many magic mushrooms. I don't know. I wouldn't recommend. I had a really good magic mushroom trip where I had an out of body experience, and it was pretty amazing. I was able to see like the whole earth. It was during a Hurricane Irma, and I didn't need to do it a bunch of times after that. I only needed to do it like once or twice, because I did a lot when I did it. And that's what led me down the path of understanding that, hey, my focus creates my reality, which is basically what the ancients have always said. There's always a war between light and dark. And yeah. So, if you want to believe that you're limited, speaking of focus creates your reality, if you want to believe that you are limited. Oh, see, I messed up. No, I mean, it is what it is, but unlimited memory. I'll tell you guys why I messed up in a second, but yeah, if you want to believe that we come from monkeys and that's your focus, then that will become your reality, and then you will only be but when you focus on the fact that we were genetically modified to cap our lifespan at 120 years, then you realize, and you look at chromosome number 2, that we have a much greater potential, that we're not that we're just at the cusp of everything, that we're just as good as we're ever going to get. No, that's not it. We were actually better before, and we had a big fall. There was a flood. This is what I talked about in my book, Anime Powers and Hidden Applications. When you look at that and you see you can think bigger, then you can become bigger. You have to broaden your focus, shift your paradigm. Anyway, the shack, I talked about the cabin in the woods from Conversations with God. I was thinking about this book, The Shack. They're both really good books, but yeah, they have similar concepts. Yeah, I mean, it's just literally coming face to face with the reality of the darkness that's in our world, and then also the light side that can come out of it. So I think that's pretty poetic that it just happened that way. But anyway, America Before, another history book. The Brain That Changed Itself, basically what I was just talking about. Outwitting the Devil. I've talked about this in my videos. The devil's greatest weapon is drifting, making people drift, okay? Which is the opposite of focus. And what is the gateway experience? The focus tapes, right? So when you can figure out how to focus, if you're here on YouTube and you're looking at different videos while I'm talking to you, and you're not really focusing on one thing, then that's a fine way to live life. But understand that if you have a goal, you should look at the goal that you are looking to achieve, and you should focus on it and then go to work every day to make it happen. What kind of future do you want to manifest? Are you the one that's manifesting your future, or are you letting somebody else do it for you? Because what kind of future do they want to manifest? You don't know. I'm just saying. But if you do know, then that's great. And if you guys are working together, then that's great. But I don't know. You gotta make sure that everybody's on the same page. Trading for a living. This is talking about. I'm not a day trader. I understand the concept, and there's a reason why I don't trade money. I would much rather provide value, and my value be worth, and me get paid for the value that I give. I don't want to just be pressing buttons on a screen and then let that be my living. No, thank you. As a man thinketh, so he shall be. What else more can I say than that? Think and Grow Rich. There you go. Now we're here at the richest man in Babylon. Another great classic. This is the one that I talked about. Save 10% of your income. And then for the other 20%, you always want to save 30%. So 10 can go to you and the 20% can go to your debts. So, but once you are paid off all your debts, then you need to invest in, some can be passive investments, some can be active investments, some can be a mixture of both. So 10% of each. 10 active, 10 passive, and then 10 can be a mixture of both. Millionaire Next Door, Surprising Secrets of America's Rich. There could be somebody that you're living right next to that can be a millionaire, because some people apply the things that I'm talking about. Some people choose to watch UFC fights where people are just getting brain damage and then just they're getting siphoned all their money from their wallet. Like, dude, is that really what you want to be spending your energy on? Like, what are you know what I mean? Anyway, um, long distance real estate investing. It is literally what it's the title. He teaches you exactly how to do it, and I'm not really into that right now. That I'm not at that stage in my life just yet, because I'm spending all of my energy on you guys, and also on keeping my family afloat. And I would much rather have a community than to have a property. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, that's basically the reason why I do the things that I do, because a community is worth much more than a property where you can have two people living in, right? If you can give to a community, give freely, be a go-giver, I trust you guys. I believe that one day everything will work out and we can help each other. Set for Life, an all-out approach to early financial freedom, just talking about investing. Read the book. The Way of the Superior Man. This one's interesting, by David Data. And it talks about relationships. I think I read this before I was married, and it helped me, you know, figure out a way to get married. So it's not a bad book. Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor E. Frankl. This is but from the perspective of a Jew during Nazi concentration camps. And Viktor Frankl is the guy. And it just goes to show, man, we are more than our physical bodies. When you have a meaning, he talked about how all he would look at in his mind was a picture of his wife. Like, that's literally basically all he could see in his mind. He just wanted to go back to his family and mate, and that's how he was able to make it. It's not about saying, oh, we're going to be freed when Christmas comes around, we're going to be free. No, it's about being realistic, which this is also something that is talked about in the book, From Good to Great. It's about being realistic and just beginning with the end in mind. And, making sure that end that you want is good. New Psychology of Achievement, Breakthrough Strategies for Success and Happiness in the 21st Century. This is Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy, I don't agree with everything he says. With a lot of these people, I don't agree with everything that they say. And I don't have to, because there's a lot of stuff that you can learn from them. Like I talked about before, you're either green and growing or you're ripening and dying. There's every person that I listen to, that I come in contact with, I think, hey, is there something here for me to learn? Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. A lot of the times there's some good stuff. You just got to be able to listen. Zig Ziglar's Secrets of Closing the Sale, I just talked about that. It's basically the same thing. He also has another book called Goals, is another really good book. Which I just basically talked about. I mean, this video that I'm making right now, I know it's going to be a little bit longer. It's going 40 minutes. But I'm telling you guys, I'm going to be giving you guys as much as I can. Not only am I going to give you money, but don't be upset if you don't win the money, because I'm giving you stuff that can help you make money. Like, this is money, what I'm giving you right now. Like, I'm literally giving you the transmutation of lead into gold. Like, this is gold. I'm literally giving it to you right now. So, I don't know. I mean, even if it goes long, I'm just going to give you as much as I can, or whatever. You don't have to listen to the whole thing. Don't listen to the whole thing if you don't want to. But I'm going to keep giving you, everything that I can. Every week, I'm going to keep showing up. And, I mean, I can already see it. I mean, things are just, I'm being flooded with all these opportunities and all this income. And, I mean, it's not coming from you guys, but it's coming from other sources, because I'm vibrating at a higher frequency. If you want to vibrate at a higher frequency, then go ahead and do the same thing. If not, then you can keep focusing on your problems, and you're going to get more problems if you do that. So maybe you should focus on the solutions. And these are the solutions that I'm giving you right now. Mastering yourself, how to align your life with your true calling and reach your full potential. Thank You Economy, Gary Vaynerchuk, another person that lost his integrity, sorry to say. Happens way too often, The Pilgrimage, The Alchemist, wherever your heart is, there you will find your treasure. Don't focus on money so much, guys. Power of Habit, another great book. Let me see. I'm just gonna skim through these because I don't want to belabor this point. I think I kind of just nailed it on the head. But here we have the 7 habits of highly effective people. I've got it here. One last thing that I want to kind of say, because I think this is almost the end of my library. I've got like one more page left. I'll go through. I'll show you guys everything that I have. But this is one of the last things that I want to say when it comes to this topic. You want to be an independent person. Okay, you don't want to be having to depend on other people. There's a difference between depending and interdepending. Okay, you have to go from dependence to independence. Dependence physically, emotionally, spiritually, you name it. You have to go from that dependence level to an independence level where you don't depend on anything or anyone to do these things for you. You have to do that for yourself. And then once you're finished getting from an independent point, you got to start thinking of not how can I win over other people. You got to start thinking of, hey, how can we make this a win-win? Where I win, you win, we all win. If you subscribe to my channel, you're going to win because one way or another, I'm going to give you good information. I'm going to give you money. I'm going to give you solutions to your problems. I win because you subscribe to my channel. It helps me grow, helps me reach more people. You win because the information that I'm giving you is going to help you. Okay? Bold. How to make big, make bank, and better the world. Spirituality, quantum mechanics, and financial freedom, I think they're like all the same thing. Okay? It's not about, going broke. And I think Billy Carson wrote this book. It's woke doesn't mean broke, something like that. And I haven't written a book yet. Maybe one day I will, and it's not gonna be like a complete original thought because there's nothing new under the sun. But I'm gonna include all the things that I've included in this video, all these concepts, and tell a story about it, and then I'm gonna share it so people can read it, and I can transfer my consciousness from my consciousness to theirs, and they can also raise their level of vibration and figure out solutions to their problems. Which is the same thing that the Gateway experience is doing for you. You have to be able to, the foundation of everything is the Holy Trinity. The foundation of everything is thoughts, feelings, and actions. When you're not aligned in these things, then you're living in duality. If you're living in duality, you're not going to get the things that you want because you're telling the universe, hey, I want one thing, and then you're doing something different. So what you have to do is you have to align these three things. Say, hey, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to do to get it. Not only do I think I want it, but I feel like it's going to help me, and I know it is, and then I'm going to take the action every day to make it happen. That's called manifestation. Okay? So, bold. You got to be bold. You can't just cower in fear. You can't dim your light because you want somebody else to, because you're afraid. That's not what you should do. You need to let your light shine so that other people will be inspired to let their light shine as well. You have to be vulnerable. Free economics goes into the truth of our economic reality and some things that, the way it's set up, that is the truth, actually. This is very true. Because capitalistic society, right now we're living in a capitalistic society. It's not going to work. Eventually we need to get rid of this thing because money, we shouldn't have money. That's the truth. So even though I've said everything that I've said, I got to rely on the reality, which is this system is flawed and we need to come up with a better system, which would just be free energy. Okay, the reality of it is, which I talked about in the end of my last video, is that we already have the technology. The government already has the technology for free energy. They just don't want to give it to us because they want to be the bottleneck. They want to have control. They want to be the choke point of everything. That goes back to the Federal Reserve. That goes back to the gold standard. Inflation is real. Closer Survival Guide Mindset, The Psychology of Success. The mindset book is about the growth mindset and about having that growth mindset, not a limited mindset. So these are all different people that I'm showing you guys that are saying the exact same thing in different ways for you to understand that, look, if you don't agree with one of them, don't worry because somebody else is going to tell you because it's the truth. So it doesn't matter if you don't agree with one of them because you're going to eventually have to agree with them because it is the truth. It is what it is. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Another guy that gave up his integrity to the best of my knowledge. I don't know, man. Why are you not giving to people? Where are you, dude? Where'd you go? Uh, Darren Hardy, Compound Effect, making increments every day, every week, getting better and better. When you listen to the Gateway Experience, you have to listen to it multiple times. Me and my wife, we're doing yoga. Okay, yoga, you have to do a pose. You fail the first time, you fail the second time, you fail the third time, but eventually you start getting it, and then you start getting better. And then, then you got it. You got it nailed down. Then you can help other people do it as well. Um, Greatest salesman in the world. For this one, this is what I was telling you guys. The secret of learning that I've been applying to the Emerald tablets. It's called repetition. I literally just said it basically from talking about yoga. You have to do something over and over and over again. Through childish swipes, the mighty oak will tumble. Think about that. You don't have to go with a giant axe and try to, or a chainsaw and try to cut down a huge giant tree. No, you can do it from childish swipes, just every day, showing up. If you don't have the tools, just show up with what you've got. You can make it happen. Goals. That's what I was talking about. You have to have a target. You have to know where you're going. You have to have a target for where you're going to be going. How to Be a 3% Fit Man. This is a great book by Corey Wayne, another YouTuber. He's still giving to this day. Every day, this guy has not given his integrity. This is the opposite of all those people that Grant Cardone and all these other people that are just focusing on money too much and giving away their soul and not focusing. This guy is doing the opposite of that. This guy is helping people. Why? Because he's got a good foundation. He helped me meet my wife. He helped me start my family. So definitely check that guy out. Brian Tracy, same thing. Tony Robbins. I don't know what he's doing, guys. Tony Robbins. I don't know what you're doing, man. I guess he's feeding America is what he's doing, right? Where's the numbers? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that's pretty much, let me see the last page of my library. Perfect. That's so poetic. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. You have to be present. That's the last book here on my list. You have to be present and be present now. So there you go. Definitely recommend that book. Let's see, it's 7 hours and 37 minutes. I mean, this is content on content on content. I don't have to go on YouTube to entertain myself, because we've got the patterning, the 1 year. The spring equinox is coming up 11 days from now, March 19th. And then after that, it's going to be the summer solstice. Then after that, it's going to be the fall equinox. Then after that, it's going to be the winter solstice. So every year, this is the future. This is the future. This is what I can tell you. I don't know what you're going to do. I don't even know exactly what I'm going to do. But I know that I have the right mindset and I know things are going to work out because I can keep myself focused on the right things. I'm not going to be like Thoth talks about. There's no way ever that I will ever be taken down by the brothers of darkness. Okay, there is no way ever. I can tell you guys a quick story. I sent out a wire transfer on February 28th, and so it was like I sent it to somebody that I know personally. I'm actually literally buying gold. That's literally what I was doing with the wire transfer. When I sent it, the people that I sent it to called me. They said, "Hey, no, oh my God, our account has been hacked. Somebody hacked our account. The money that you sent, it's not gonna work out, and all this and that and the other." I'm like, "Okay, guys, really? What do you mean? Your account was hacked? Like they got your username and password?" She's like, "Oh no, they just used a check that was sent fraudulently. It was one of the checks that we give to them, and they sent it out fraudulently." And and I was like, "Okay, well, everything happens for a reason. For one reason or another, this is happening, and I'm the one that's getting caught in it. That's totally fine. I'm over here trying to give to people and trying to build a foundation and trying to buy gold and all this stuff, but that's fine. This is just a challenge. This is an opportunity for me to prove myself." So I didn't get angry. I didn't yell at them. I didn't do any of that stuff. What I did was I said, "Okay, so what are we going to do?" And she said, "Well, you have to call your bank. You have to do this." I was like, "Okay, I'll call my bank." I called my bank. They said, "Hey, we'll have the money back. We'll have to wait to see if it gets deposited into their account." I didn't know. Meanwhile, I'm in limbo. I don't know what's going on. I sent out a little bit of money. It's more than 1,000, less than 10,000, just to give you an idea. And, I'm like, okay, what's going to happen to that money? I don't know. If it would almost feel like I just gave it and I put it out into the universe, and now I have to wait to see what the universe will do back. Right. And that could be anything. I could have just lost that money because of everything that she told me. But I know my principles. I know that as above, so below. I know these things and the way that it works. Right is right, whether anyone is against it, and wrong is wrong, whether anyone is for it. Okay, remember that. So if you do the right thing, you can always know that if you're doing the right thing, the right things will happen for you, no matter what. So long story short, the money came back to my account, today, like more than a week later. It came back to my account. So I sent it back to them. I'm not gonna hold that. I don't want that. I don't money. What is money? It's not worth anything. What do I want to do? I want to buy gold. So I need the gold. So I sent it back to the people that I'm buying gold from, and they're gonna send it. They're gonna send me the gold now because they got their account figured out and everything. So there you have it, guys. We're gonna be doing a giveaway soon on. Let me see. It's gonna be. We'll do $100 giveaway next week on. Let me see. I'll show you guys my calendar here. On the 15th, and then let's do a $300 giveaway on the 29th. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you comment on this video, or yeah, make sure you comment. It has to be on this video. If you want to enter into the $100 giveaway, you have to comment on this video and you have to be subscribed. I'm going to go through and I'm going to give the money to the people that made it all the way to the end of this video. I know it's a longer video. It's 51 minutes, but I want to know that you actually got the good information, because I don't want to just be giving to people that are not going to use the information so that they can go out and make more money as well. I want to help you help yourself, if you know what I mean. So you have to have watched this whole video and you have to have subscribed and comment on this specific video if you want to win $100. And then we'll go from there. But I'm going to be giving away $100 on the 15th, on Friday the 15th, to one person. Even if only one person enters the giveaway, congratulations, you won, So thank you for watching my video, and thank you for listening to me, and thank you for, investing in yourself, because that's what this is. This is an investment into yourself. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you the money. So anyway, I guess that's pretty much all I've got to say. Until next time, peace.